Good morning, Tom.
Very good to be here. Good morning.
I would like to start with the recent political turmoil that we faced all over the world.
Absolutely.
We see that the businesses and also entrepreneurs are having lots of troubles with the political uncertainty.
Correct.
Just as we saw at Italy's referendum, the Brexit or
Absolutely.
Trump's election.
Absolutely.
So how to manage your business on such uncertain times?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And you might have a great business, but then political uncertainty hits, economic uncertainty hits, currency fluctuations hit. What do you do, right? So the answer always means you got to go back to the basics, and you have to make sure that you manage your business at an optimum level. Now, what does this mean? Number one, you need to focus on innovation, because in the end, innovation and marketing are the key drivers. However, the shift in expectations of the consumers will be the biggest driver of change in the next 5 to 10 years. That means you have to try to anticipate the shifts in expectations of your consumers. What does this mean for your business? Well, it means that you have to understand the hearts and the minds of your consumers and try to forecast and predict what they will expect from you. You will still have the instability, you will still have the uncertainty, but at least you can make sure that you improve your customer loyalty. That's the first thing. So it's consumer. The second one is innovation. And let's face it, this is an area a lot of companies have difficulty with. And for me, innovation goes hand in hand with digital transformation as well. How do you master innovation so that you can get to an optimum level? Well, most companies think innovation is a linear process. So they do not really understand what are the secrets behind innovation. Innovation means you have to innovate all the time. Most companies think that it's enough to innovate if there is a problem or they see a hungry competitor coming. No, you have to establish a consistent corporate culture of innovation across all levels of your organization. So another mistake is that innovation just happens in spots in your company, in a particular department. Sometimes it's R&D, sometimes it's another department, but everybody has to nurture this culture of consistent innovation.
Those are very important issues. Just you have mentioned about customers and the customization of your business. That's an important issue because you can have the right forecasts. You can make innovation. You can be very good at innovation, but at political instability, just look at the pharmaceuticals during the US elections after Hillary Clinton's statements, how they had affected. So do you believe that kind of impacts can be avoidable, or can you protect your business from, you can do everything right?
Correct.
But some other effects can make lots of impacts on your business. How to prevent yourself?
You're absolutely right. And short term, there is nothing you can do to protect yourself against an election or massive currency fluctuations, as we've seen them recently here in the Turkish territory. But in the mid and long term, you can control the outcome of your business. How? Number one, you focus on your customers and the consumer. You try to predict the shifts in expectations of the consumers. You try to understand their wants and needs, and you understand the hearts and minds of the consumers. And then when it comes to your team and your organization, you have to make sure you have the right set of values and you have the right vision. The values and vision keep your teams together. They make them perform at an optimum level. You know, it's like a music group or a band playing together. If you have the right vision, you can make wonderful music. The same goes true for any business. You know, a lot of businesses lose a lot of their energy and productivity and profits because of internal conflicts. Not external conflicts, but internal conflicts. So you have to make sure that you work together seamlessly and you optimize the communication among your teams, and that the top level management and the CEO clearly communicates the vision and the values of the companies to everybody. That is very, very critical.
Another important issue is the things you're mentioning are very important. Redesigning your business, digital transformation is very important. Innovation is very important.
Absolutely.
But they all are up to the level of capital and your space of breathing. Many companies in emerging markets like Turkey are at survival mode. So what can you do in terms of innovation and redesigning your business if your lack of capital and trying to survive?
Absolutely. Well, you bring one of the points that a lot of people raise, right? They say, well, I don't have enough resources. And let's face it, there are basically 2-3 issues most people face when it comes to resources. They mention cash. We don't have enough cash. We don't have enough investment. Well, guess what? Actually, history shows that a lot of the great companies that are very big today, even top in their industry, were born in times of recession, sometimes even depression, or very challenging economic climates. In a way, it forces you to think out of the box and to be very innovative and to try to really break through. What does this mean? It means that in challenging economic times, what really counts is the right mental models and the right best practices that you have. I have been very lucky to work with some of the world's most famous CEOs and the best global brands, from Google in Silicon Valley to eBay to the best brands in Asia. And what I've seen in working with all of these brands and the Fortune 500 CEOs is they do things differently. They have the right mental models, the right best practices that allow them to create breakthrough success, even in challenging or volatile economic times. So you have to master these secrets and master these mental models, and this will allow your business to come out on top.
So how to reach to that level in terms of mindset? It's
Good.
not an easy one.
It's not an easy one, but in the end, mindset is fantastic as a solution because that's the one thing you have control of. You have control of the mindset, of the mental models, of the best practices that you employ. Another thing is, I've seen with working with all these famous CEOs and famous companies around the planet, they always see challenges as something positive. They see challenges as opportunities, as a chance to grow. You know, the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, once said, it's actually good to be in a challenging climate because it's like being in a box. You have to invent your way out of the box. And that's Jeff Bezos, and obviously one of the most fantastic entrepreneurs of our time.
If you're talking about innovation, right?
If you're talking about any, yes, but also about any company, it's really, it comes down to the right best practices. What are the best practices? What are the right mental models? And again, the companies that consistently come out on top, they have mastered the right principles and are employing them every day, not just here or there, but they really establish this as a core fundamental of their corporate culture.
As just you mentioned about Jeff Bezos and Amazon, they have some successful issues and they are trying and failing at some issues as well.
Absolutely.
When you look at Google, that's right. That's
Absolutely.
the same as well.
Absolutely.
So what's the exact timing of that? A business is working or not working. Give up and try something new. What's the exact timing and giving up timing on that?
That's an excellent question. You know, we call this fail fast or fail forward. And that means that you have to embrace failure. You cannot avoid failure. You know, in some cultures, there is an inherent fear of failure. But this leads to companies never doing anything new, to employees not bringing forth their best ideas. So suddenly, these companies do not produce breakthrough innovation because the employees do not bring their best ideas because they are afraid that they might be criticized, they are afraid they might make a mistake. The best companies that come out on top, Amazon included, there is a culture that encourages people to bring forth their best ideas. Only when you have people in all of the organization, all of the employees consistently bringing forth their best ideas, you can filter, prioritize them, and truly create breakthrough success.
So you don't have to be at a greater size, at a big company. You have to be faster, right? That's the major question. Not the big fish, but the fast fish.
Exactly. In the old economy, what counted were size, power, and strength. Because you had economies of scale. Think of a factory, right? The more cars you produce, the more your power, the less your cost, so you have bigger economies of scale. But that was the old economy. Today, what counts is flexibility, speed, agility, and customized solutions, tailored solutions to the needs and wants of your consumers, your customers, and your clients.
I have two more questions. One of them was following the last one. When you look at Snapchat, a company didn't exist 5 years ago, having the IPO for $40 billion. Another one, another fast fish, Facebook and Instagram. They just turned their Instagram sharings to Instagram stories, and they're trying to hit Snapchat as well.
Absolutely.
That's being fast fish, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, because when you look at these companies, they have founders, management, and employees that are always on their toes. They do not innovate when it's too late. They do not innovate when they see a problem. They innovate all the time. So what do you do? How do you establish this consistent corporate culture of innovation? That is the key, and that's what top management, also in Turkey, needs to focus on.
And as Turkey, the last question, Turkey has increased GDP per capita very fastly during the last 15 years, from $3,000 to $10,000. Now we are declining a little bit. But the major question is, Turkey has been in a trap for middle income. We came to $10,000 and we cannot go further.
True.
The key for moving forward seems to be innovation and creating value-added and also productive strategies. What can be done on that?
Absolutely. You mentioned a very important point, value-added strategy. You have to always focus, especially in challenging times, on the value you provide to your customers and the consumer. If you look at the giants of the past, for instance, Kodak 20, 25 years ago, BlackBerry, Sony, McDonald's that missed the health food trend. Those were companies that were at the top of the game in their industry, but they lost that position because they did not constantly innovate. They became too comfortable. And today, and you're mentioning this, it's absolutely correct, the pace of change is so rapid and the digital transformation accelerates change. So everything is becoming faster and faster. You were mentioning Snapchat and other companies. Change happens so fast. So you never can be comfortable. You always have to adapt. You always have to be flexible. And you always have to innovate, transform, and change.
Tom Oliver, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Teşekkürler. Thank you very much.